Liquidity. So here's that example that we talked about before. Waterfall versus, your kitchen faucet. So if you're going to make some money and master the skill, where do you want to master it? Now there's some advantages of Forex, and this is where we kind of expand our thought process. And so number one, when we look at stocks, typically you're putting your money with a broker, right? So they're going to take some more money from you. You have smaller commissions with Forex. And so you pick your broker, which is your Forex bank account, and let's say on a $30 to $40 trade, maybe your commission is $1 to $2. It's very small. It's almost as small that you don't even realize that they're even taking any money on, which is a big perk, right? Low transaction costs. So in order to, say, buy or sell a certain pair, maybe you're paying 1%, right? Just to even get into the trade. So they're taking commission on your profit, but even just to get into the trade, it's very small compared to, say, stocks, which would be the easiest to compare it to, okay? There's no fixed trading size. And so remember this, we're going to talk more about lot sizes and the potential of Forex later, which is why I love this training. I did mention it before that you have a very low account size. That's what a lot of people like, right? Because it's not like you have to come in here and take a whack at it with $5,000. You can come in, with a couple $100 in your trading account and really start to get it. Even if you're making $3 on a trade, if you only have 100 in the account, that's 3%, right? So it's great because you can start small and then you can size it up. I have friends that trade a $50,000 account. So Forex is not just for small accounts, but it's not just for big accounts like some other stuff that's out there. Okay, another big perk is that it's a 24-hour-a-day, 5-day-a-week market. Right? So that's big time because it's not like the only time you can trade is at 8 a.m. If you're at work at 8 a.m., then you can never trade if that was the case. Here you can trade through an abundance of opportunities. Now there are better times to trade and there are prime times to trade, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Okay, leverage. Now think about a crowbar. Right? Everybody here understands leverage, but the reason why we have the opportunities, say 15, 20 years ago, to trade Forex, you would need, at least probably $50,000. I'd say bare minimum. And in order to execute a trade, you have to pick up the phone and call, say, hey, I want to short the euro this week. Hey, I want to short or buy the British pound. And so now it's a little bit different, and these brokers are giving us more leverage, meaning we can control larger amounts of money with smaller amounts of money. Okay, and you're in full control. You can get in and out of a trade at any time. So who does the market? We talked about, I'm going to breeze through this one. So you have the bigger banks, you have large commercial companies, say Apple, right? Apple does 20 million in sales in Japan. That's obviously a different currency than their mother company, so they have to trade that Japanese yen back to US dollars. That's a pretty big transaction, and so that could dictate and influence the market. Governments, just like large commercial companies, obviously, let's say the United States going into a country like Iraq, obviously that presence is going to help build up that country's currency. You also have centralized smaller banks that dictate the exchange rate to some extent, and then here about $1.5 trillion a day comes from just us, the spot and retail market, the day traders. That's the easiest way to sum it up, right? Day traders, trend traders, people like us that are just trading in the digital currency world.
Would you refer to us as day traders?
Retail traders.
Okay.
Because
some call it day traders today.
Some people call it day traders, but I think that's
the stock market.
Yeah, and it could be Forex too. But here's the thing: with Forex, you have short. Well, this is really to both, to Forex and stocks, but you have short and long, right? Short-term traders and long-term traders. So short-term traders are trading intraday, meaning they're getting into a trade and getting out of the trade in the same day. Long-term traders may be trading for 3 days, a week, a month, maybe even longer. They're looking at the big swing in the market. Let's say maybe even from, everybody here is familiar with Brexit, which is, Great Britain voting out of the Union. Maybe after that British pound crash, you're riding the trend of the pound continuing to fall. It's probably going to continue to fall, so maybe you took that trend and now you're riding it. Or let's say after our new president got announced, you're taking the trend on the dollar up, right? So you're riding the trend, right? And so different types of trading. All right, the major sessions. So again, 24-hour a day, 5 day a week, and then these are when the major parts of the world are operating in business hours. Okay, and so obviously everything in this runs around the money moving in and out of the banks, in and out of the businesses and whatnot. And so for us, this is the summer times. For London, it's at 3 a.m. So our 3 a.m. is their morning. 8 a.m. Everybody's alive and well, rocking and rolling, spending money, moving money around. New York session, 8 a.m. And then Sydney, they call it the Sydney session, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Tokyo starts at 7. And so you have a couple different sessions. Here's where it all makes sense, right? You divide. I love having a whiteboard, so thank you for this.
Are we doing all those markets?
Yeah, we
Oh,
trade.
yeah, those are the,
Yep, and so think about it. If you trade the euro, if you trade Europe, you have the euro, the British pound, and the Swiss franc. So you have 3 currencies here. With New York, you have the Canadian and the U.S. and gold. Sydney, you have the Australian and New Zealand, and then Tokyo, you have the yen. So those
Do
are
they
the,
ever trade silver too?
no, not in this. In commodities and like
Yeah,
futures
no.
trading, yep, they trade. Yeah,
When
they
you
trade.
said gold, I was wondering if they did
Gold,
silver.
gold is extremely popular.
Yeah.
Silver is about what $9 an ounce or whatnot. So gold actually will trade better
Yeah.
versus some of these bigger, some of the bigger currencies. So if you guys think about it, you have London, right? So Europe, we'll just call it Europe, which is the London session in the middle, right? And obviously the time moves counterclockwise, right? So you have Sydney and Asia, we'll just call it Asia. Basically dice it up into 3 sections, the world, right? And then you have the Americas. Okay? So you have Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Now typically these are on relatively the same time zones. And so here you have an overlap, right? Where Asia and Europe will overlap. So you have more volatility when 2 markets are overlapping. Then you have a point in time where
That's
London,
Sydney and Tokyo, right?
correct. So you have Sydney and Tokyo, where you have Asia, so Japan, Australia, New Zealand overlapping with Europe,
Yeah.
right? So you have more volatility. Oh, sorry. You have increased volatility because you have 3 major currencies overlapping with 3 more. So you have a lot of movement in the market. This is why London session is such a pivotal time. And then the end of London will overlap with the Canadian dollar, the American dollar, and gold. So you're taking 3 and overlapping with another 3, right? So there's really 8 majors, but I always include gold because it is one of the most popularly traded pieces in Forex.
was
Right.
the time change when you were just there with Melbourne and Sydney?
Melbourne's 16 hours, Sydney's, no, Brisbane is 15. But Melbourne and Sydney are 16. All right. So, again, we just talked about it. Here's the 8 majors. If there was a 9th, it'd be gold. If there was a 10th, it'd be the Mexican peso, as far as what's traded. Euro, the dollar, Canadian, British pound, Australian, New Zealand, Swiss franc, and the yen. There's obviously a lot of other pairs. They're currencies, but they're called exotics. You don't typically trade those on the market, like say the Iraqi dinar. You're not trading it because the trading value is so small. And so you're really just going with the more stable, concrete currencies in Forex. Okay, so what you guys are gonna see, and we set I think almost everybody here is set up. So once you start to look at, okay, here's the exchange rate, what am I starting to do? Keep it simple, okay? What you're seeing is a quote. So it's just like if you were to go to the booth right now, hey, I'm trading my US dollar for British pound, the exchange rate right now is 1.51. That's normally what you would see. Okay. In Forex, it goes beyond. So in Forex, you're going back, typically you have 6 figures here, but we see this, okay? What you're seeing up front, and it's just the way that it's set up, I really couldn't tell you why, but even if you're trading the dollar for the pound or the pound for the dollar, it's always GBP USD, okay? So what you see first is the base currency. What you see here is the quote currency, right? So if we're saying, okay, I'm gonna buy GBP USD, what you're doing is you're buying the fact that the pound is gonna increase, okay? If you're selling, so if the pound increases, the dollar what? Okay. If you're gonna sell GU or GBP USD, the pound's value is gonna go down. At that same time, the dollar goes up. So I'll give you some examples. when Brexit occurred, the dollar gained massive strength versus the pound automatically because the pound dropped. Nothing really changed here, but because the pound decreased, the dollar gains value. When Trump would close a state, the dollar would go down, meaning every time the dollar went down, everything versus the dollar went up. Every time Trump closed a state, the gold went up, the Japanese yen went up, Canadian, so forth and so on. Okay, and so now we're looking at quote. We're looking at really the market, right? And so what you'll see on your MetaTrader 4 is the market listings. Now you're taking all these different major pairs and you are, or all the different major currencies, and they're creating major pairs. So a major pair is anything with US. Okay, so you have some major pairs here. But then you have all these different exchanges. And it's giving you a buy price and a sell price. Okay, so what you guys will see this is like your starting point. Okay, the best way I can tell you this is where you're going to enter the trade. Right? And so let's say, let's look at US dollar, Swiss franc, CHF. Okay, now the bid price is 959.02. Okay, and the ask price is 959.52. This gap in between is where the broker will make some money. All right, so they're not actually directly taking from you, but if you're going to sell, they're saying if you're going to sell, you're going to start here. If you're going to buy, you're going to start here. Okay, so they're giving you two different exchange prices. Buying here, selling here. So, hey, we're going to get the increase. We're going to start you a little bit lower. You're going to get the decrease. We're going to start you a little bit higher. Okay, so it's usually a very small gap, and I'll explain how
long did it take you to catch on? Seriously, I know you're smart, but you know what the average does. No, don't go by how smart you are. You're talking like Chinese to me.
It'll take you more than 3 months doing the demo.
This stuff, I mean, see, this is the thing. If you can understand what I'm teaching you now,
I understand so far, but you know, I just.
but once you get it, and then you get into more of the practical teaching, you understand why you're doing what you're doing, and then it's just repetition, like anything else.
So what's the average?
I mean, I learned in 2 months, I'd say 90 days. If you take the average of every individual, I'd say 90 days. It's like learning a new language. If
And
you're
are they
around,
doing it every day, then Monday through Friday?
we do, okay, so we're doing Sunday nights and Thursday nights, basic, like, technical analysis. So this is like basic, okay, we're on a chart, and now we're learning what to do with everything I'm teaching you now. This is always available in the academy. So, yeah.
What's the difference between your blues and your reds?
Okay,
Why
so
some are reds and why some are
because
blues?
the last move for this was up. See? The last move for this was down. So if it's down, it's red. If it's up, it's blue.
Good. If it's down, it's red.
All right.
Red is red.
Yeah, you're out, when you're,
red.
yeah, red, if you're in the red, you fly.
When you're trading, if you're red, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're red, you're dead.
You're alive.
All right. So 2 reds. All right. So all right. This is very important. Okay. So PIP. You guys are gonna hear this. This is where we start to get into more of, okay, I'm gonna get it. And so I do this training for one reason. I want the light bulb to go off. You guys understand that this isn't really that difficult. It's just like learning maybe a secondary language, okay? Price, interest, point, irrelevant, PIP. That's all you need to know. What is a PIP? A PIP is the 5th unit in a quote. Okay, so we gave you this. The 5 is the PIP, the 0 is the PIP. Anytime you guys see, let's go back. 0's a PIP, 0's a PIP, 9's a PIP, 8's a PIP, 5's a PIP, 7, 1, 0, okay? So anytime you're 5 over from the left, PIP, right? So you have Okay, so here is your pip. This is it's called a micro pip. Okay? Very simply, 10 of these, 1 of these. It's like pennies and dimes. Okay? 10 units equals 1 of those. Now, we're going to make sense of why you need to know that in a second. Okay? So, everybody good on a pip?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, lots. This is the other major thing, because pips and lots go together, and that's how we make or lose money. So, why am I going to draw it? It's already up here. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, so 0.01 is not a penny. Or people call it a penny lot. Kind of the wrong terminology on the sticker for it. So it's actually a micro lot, right? Every 0.01 controls 10 cents. 10 of those equals 1 of those, meaning every 0.10 equals $1 per pip. So you're putting a price on the change here. Okay?
Not in the beginning, at the end.
Every single time that you say, I'm going to buy or sell, when you commit to buying or selling and that price starts to move, every micro pip, you're either making or losing money.
So it's at the end.
Right. Now you could cash out any time. I'm going to give you an example and everybody's going to have the aha. This is where it becomes extremely easy, okay? So 1 standard lot equals 100 of those, 10 of those, $10 per pip. Now, the rule of thumb, and this is why I say you can start on a very small account, because typically you would go 0.01 per $100 in your account. So if you're going to enter a trade and you're going to say sell the US dollar for the Swiss franc, you're going to sell it with a micro lot. So when you go to create your order, you're picking when to sell or to buy. You see the spreads there. Your volume is whatever you want. So you're actually, just like we go play blackjack. Let's say Kim's got $10,000 and I have 1,000. Okay, we're each going to risk 10% per hand. She puts 1,000, I put 100. Dealer breaks, we have the same outcome, except for the fact that she has more money in the hand.
Yeah.
Perfect. That example is great because everybody loves blackjack. Well, until they're losing 5 shoes in a row. Or everybody's played blackjack, and I love it. Okay, so you guys got it. Right, so now you're dictating how much you are putting into a trade. There's your volume. Standard lot, boom. Now you're risking $1 per pip. So let's go to practicals. What you guys are looking at, everybody loves gold. So this is gold. XAU USD is gold. All right, when this chart, when I took this was back in April. So I looked at a potential swing trade. So this started on the 22nd of April, and the closeout is on the 29th of April. So this is a 7-day trade that you could have taken at a low, at a market low, rode up to a market high, massive trade over 7 days, all right? Now, what we teach you in the academy is that not that. I want to see, I think I removed one of the slides, so I was going to show you, but I'll very simply, before we go a step
You
further.
put this thing all together?
This is me.
This is you, all right.
Right side, Steve.
This is me. Okay.
All right.
So check it out. Forex is like a bar stool. Okay? So you have 3 legs. How'd I do? Not bad. It looks like a bug. Whatever. It's a bar stool. Okay? So you have 3 legs. Number 1 is technicals. Number 2, fundamental. And number 3, sentimental. Okay? So there's 3 things that will influence the market. Okay? Technical, fundamental, sentimental. Technical, and I'll explain all 3. 75%, and then the other 25 is just split, 50-50. Okay, so there's 3 things that influence the market. Number 1, and what most traders focus on, technical. The numbers, the prior zones, do not lie. I can sit here and show you guys a chart, and time again, like I just showed actually on your phone, on Flo's phone, we looked at it, and she showed me something she had, and I saw price come up and touch a certain level 3 times. I know almost 100% that price is going to drop.
Go down.
I mean, so this is technical analysis because There's a reason why things happen. Now, what you guys can maybe see here with me is a little bit of a trend, right? So you can almost see a trend occurring, which means when a market is trending, typically you have 3 to 5 waves, right? 3, 4, 5. So technical analysis is about 75%. Fundamental is news, terror attacks, things that happen that will fundamentally influence the way it goes. Sentimental is if a lot of people feel like the dollar's rallying and they're buying everything or buying the dollar versus everything, that could influence the market. If you have too much buyers, too many sellers, it could dictate the market, but that takes a lot of power, and it's not us in this room that do it. It's the hedge funds, the banks, it's not us.
Right.
People are like, oh my God, what if everybody in IML takes the same trade? Trust me when I tell you, we could have 500,000 people in IML taking the same trade. Maybe. Well, they'll see it, but it's bigger money than that. Okay, so back to reality. Now, I just want you guys to understand why we would potentially buy at the market low. So let's say we're here and I tell you guys to buy gold. The currency price is at 1,000, this is per ounce of gold versus the dollar, $1,229. Okay, so we're gonna buy. Okay, well this is in April. It would hit into the 1300s after the election.
So someone, if you're having someone trade for you, they're telling you right now when to get in at that point, right there where it says buy.
Correct.
And they're gonna kind of tell you when to get out.
Are
Are they looking for
That's the
are they
arbitrary,
looking for the 5? I mean,
They're looking, there's a lot of different ways to analyze the market. So
Okay.
there's many different ways. There could be a number. That's what you learn in the academy, and that's how you learn. Honestly, through Chris Derrick in the live session, he teaches you what to look for.
Derek is,
So fast.
yeah, he's fast.
Fast?
Yeah, he's very fast.
Well, you guys want to yell? I'll call
No,
him.
no, he's good.
No, he's good.
But
He
you
keeps
know,
your attention, but if you're someone that needs to digest, walk away.
you probably have to.
There's no digest.
I'm gonna tell him to slow down.
And that's why I talked to you today about the, the.
I'm gonna tell him to
Yeah,
slow
tell
down.
them to slow down.
He's a great. I'm gonna tell him to slow down. It's good. This is good feedback. Okay, so watch. So right now, gold. Okay, so right now, gold is very low, like extremely low, and that's because the dollar has rallied. So gold right now is at 1192.
Should we get in right now?
Back in April, no, it's downtrending. You don't want to get in. Maybe on a sell. All right, so gold at this point, 1229. Let's bring it back so I can show you guys the example. Okay, 1229 up to market close at 1282, which is 533 pips. So if we were to have said, let's buy it here, we rode that trend for 7 days, it's 533 pips. Now, let's say Prophet Maureen has, how much you have on the trade?
1,000. What?
A micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot?
Standard.
All right, everybody wants standards, cool, okay. Well, let's say little Jason has a 0.01 micro lot on the trade, okay? I would have made on this trade, we all did the same thing. Remember, we got in at the same time, got out at the same time. I would have made $53.30. Whoever had a mini lot would have made what? $533. And whoever had put a standard lot would have made $5,000.
5,330.
Right.
Same market, but we just put different amount of money in our account.
I think I better start trading not now, but right now.
We need pips, pips, pips.
I see the money.
All right, I got a message that says see your Facebook, so there
Okay.
might be an emergency here. Okay. Yeah, I need
Yeah, you might get my credit card.
Hold on. Let me. It's actually Christopher Derrick, so let's FaceTime him. You guys.
Oh, you make us be bad now?
Make sure he doesn't want some private chat.
Yo, I'm in a. Why he looks so angry? Yo, I'm in a room full of a bunch of excited people. They love you, but they said you gotta slow down. Said you talk. They love you. Look at that smile. How could you?
Slow down, we're beginners.
They said slow down. They're beginners.
We need elementary.
I'm actually doing. You'll be proud of me. Doing a training. I taught Chris how to trade.
You did?
I got it.
I'll be right back, guys. What's up?
Hey, Faith, are you getting this?
Are you going around? But I learned about retention, so about hearing again.
I was surprised.
He's reached his friend limit.
But you can.
He's reached his friend limit.
If you go to the academy, you can learn. Yeah.
Honey, just put your credit card out here, baby. $195, you know what? And in 7 days, you got money. Okay? That's all I'm gonna tell you. Don't try to run out, because you know what? I can just all important to me tonight. I haven't had time to go look at it. You know, I'm making money every day.
It's true, you just have to go over it. It's like
I've been stolen over in Sunfire.
Did you just start? Did you just? They train in. I don't know.
Did you invest in
When that is where.
Is your son talking to you and he ain't talking to me? Because I may have been talking to him out the parking lot. That one, the one that just walked out the door. Is he telling you to put some money in?
No, I'm going to know.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not being left out. So, you know, we better not be left out. We better check with this one, because this one's got a hook in him. You see this one thing?
So with the micro, she got money. I'm just kidding. All right, so
Don't tell them the secret.
50. So just like we said, $53 profit, 533, 5,300. Okay, and so these are just some little things that I go over. Trade on a demo until you have a profitable strategy. There's no rush. Why rush it, right?
Yeah,
I want to stop getting up at 6 something.
But here's the thing, you actually don't need to, because on Sunday night at 8 p.m., until you're ready, on Sunday night at 8 p.m., Thursday night at 8
I know,
p.m.,
that's
just
great.
be in front of the computer.
That's great that they-
I changed the whole thing. I said, hey, Chris, we're going to do this. We're like, they don't even ask questions when I talk. They're like, we're gonna do it. I did it for you guys, really. For a lot of the people that are coming in right now, they don't want to stay up till 2 a.m.
Well,
Everybody looks at me like-
at 10:30 at night, if you've gone a long day, you know, retention is
I'm
not.
gonna be
that
honest.
great.
I don't stay up till 2 a.m. By 2 a.m., I'm either drinking a coffee or I'm dead. And I don't want to drink coffee anymore. So we'll do it
Thursday at 8 p.m. also.
Thursday 8 p.m., Sunday 8 p.m. It's basics.
Yeah.
And
And today, I got something about 6 p.m. What's that today? Or maybe you didn't see it. I saw it because, okay.
maybe,
I'll let you know.
maybe they're doing some secret stuff. All right. Do not trade. This is big. Do not trade when you're emotional.
Yeah, that's.
Do not do it.
All
Don't.
the time.
Do not. And if you're always emotional, then just bring people to the meeting. I don't know what else to tell
Bring them
you.
to the province, get them delivered, and they'll be okay.
That's it. You need to go meet a bunch of prophets if you're in this category all the time. All right, stick to one pair. Like, focus on a pair, right? It's like trying to make 40 new friends at once. It's probably better to understand, okay, this is one person, next one person, right? One pair at a time. Be patient, be consistent. Guys, nonetheless, like, this stuff's up there. You can read it and take it for what it is. But really, it's about just be here, right? Just be here. Like, plug in, use the products. That's the best advice I can give you. Those services, they're designed so that you make money. If those products don't work, we're not doing what we're doing. And so just use it. Use the TV. My goal for you would be to use the Academy, okay? So Academy, get on the live room. At least get on those live training sessions.
Yeah.
Sunday and Thursday. So you get it. When you get it, then you can rearrange your sleep schedule and stay up till 2 a.m. and trade. We're also going to be adding New York session in January. Be a little bit easier, 8 a.m. You can do 2 a.m. or 8 a.m.
This is mind-boggling. For $195, I mean, I can go to Target and do that. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, I spent that at Target the other day.
Yeah, so that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know what? I mean, I used to think 1,300 was amazing, okay? But, you know, 195 sounds a lot better.
What, if you're, the other.
Originally, the traders were going to get a bigger chunk of that, but you just said,
Well, then you're like the
Volume,
broker.
volume,
You're like the broker if they're gonna get a bigger
They
chunk.
have volumes.
Right, Jason?
it goes to 100. It's going to be 155 a month if you want the signals. If you don't want the signals, 145. It's not a big deal. It's $10.
What's the signals? Is that the
There's-
one that dings the auto trader?
It's sent to your phone, and then you can decide what lots you want to put on
That's what I said, that's.
It's copy paste. So we're gonna send you guys trades. You don't need to know anything. You're gonna get a trade on your phone. You're gonna literally look, see what it says, USD CHF, buy at this point, plug it into your phone, look at it, go away. That's worth $10 a month for sure.
$10 a month, oh my God.
Can you do it? Oh, and if you have your 2 customers, it's still gonna be free. Doesn't matter.
If you can't, stop drinking Starbucks.
Yep. $10 a month. All right, so everybody's good?
I
Tell us
said,
about the auto trading. You can do that anytime.
You have access to the auto trader all the time.
okay.
It's so loud. But yeah, I gotta be home for a meeting in less than an hour, so.
Well, my.
It is, it's sprinklers.
From here, Miami, it takes
An hour, if I'm driving on wings.
Yeah.
Well,
I used to go to Miami.
It
when
takes me an
I
hour,
was-
50
From
minutes.
here?
50.
To now?
50,
Okay, you're gonna take me home first?
50.
Okay.
So I can make it.
Oh.
I gotta give you something real quick.
You have another
You don't have to
meeting?
give me something every time.
You have another
I gotta give you
I have 2 more meetings.
Good night.
Not live, but on my computer.